In this video, we will cover bone maintenance, how to maintain bones. Bones provide structure, protect organs, anchor muscles and store calcium. While it is important to build strong, healthy bones, during childhood and teenage years, a person can take steps to protect bone health. Why is bone health very important? Bones change all the time. Bone is a dynamic tissue in a constant state of turnover. Throughout the lifespan, the old bone is removed and new bone is added to the skeleton. The body constantly makes new bone and breaks down old bone. This process is called remodeling. Remodeling maintains bone structure and function through simultaneous resorption and osteogenesis. And as a result, complete skeleton turnover occurs every 10 years. During childhood and teenage years, new bone is added faster than old bone is removed. Therefore, bone become larger, heavier and denser. This continues until peak bone mass is reached typically by the age of 25 years. After that, bone remodeling continues, but person may lose slightly more bone mass than gaining. The balance between bone resorption and formation is influenced by the following factors: physical activity, dietary intake of certain nutrients, especially calcium, several hormones including calcitriol, parathyroid hormone, calcitonin, thyroid hormone, cortisol, growth hormone and sex hormones, estrogen and testosterone. Bone development, growth and repair are influenced by nutrition, hormone, exercise. Growth of long bones depends on good nutrition and several hormones. Now we will see how physical activity maintains our bone. Physical activity, particularly weight-bearing activity, acts to stimulate bone formation and remodeling. Bones subjected to continual weight-bearing tend to be thick and strong. Conversely, people who are unable to engage in regular weight-bearing activities, such as those on prolonged bed rest or those with some physical disabilities, have increased bone resorption from calcium loss, and their bones become osteopenic and weak. Osteopenia means reduced in terms of mass. Weight-bearing exercise is especially important for maintaining bone strength and preventing osteoporosis. The term weight-bearing describes any activity of a feet that works bones and muscles against gravity. Regular weight-bearing exercise such as brisk walking, dancing, climbing stairs or jogging tends on body's bone-forming cells and helps bones become stronger. Weight-bearing physical activity can slow bone loss in older people. Maintaining muscle mass also preserves and strengthens surrounding bones and helps prevent falls. Bone density is a measurement of the amount of calcium and other minerals found in bones. Both osteopenia and osteoporosis are characterized by low bone density. Bone density decreases with age, especially after life stages like menopause. But there are steps you can take to slow this process, maintain healthy bones and reduce risk of fractures and other complications. One of the best types of activity for bone health is weight-bearing exercise, which promote the formation of new bone and prevent bone loss. Strength training, also called resistance training, can also help build muscles and improve stability to decrease the risk of falls and possible fractures. This type of training can involve lifting weights, using resistance bands, using weight machines. It is essential to be as consistent as possible. The bone remodeling cycle can take up to 4 months to complete, and it may take 6 to 8 months of regular exercise to see an improvement in bone mass. Now we will see the nutrition and bone health. Good nutrition is essential to ensure that the body has the proteins, minerals and vitamins needed to make and regenerate bone. Calcium, phosphorus, zinc and magnesium are necessary minerals that must come from diets. Vitamin D, K and A are also needed for normal bone metabolism. Without these nutrients, our bones can become weak and more likely to break. Good dietary habits are integral to bone health. Eat foods high in calcium throughout the day. Calcium is essential for bone health because the body is constantly breaking down old bone cells and replacing them with new bones. It is important to consume calcium daily to protect bone structure and strength. The recommended daily allowance for calcium is 1000 milligrams per day is essential for most adults to maintain adult bone mass, although older adults can require 1200 mg for optimal health. The amount of calcium the body absorbs can change based on how much a person consumes at a time. For example, if a person takes a single supplement that contains more than 500 mg of calcium, the body will absorb less of it than if a person consumes multiple lower amounts that add up to 500 mg. Therefore, it is best to spread the calcium intake throughout the day. Try incorporating more calcium-rich foods into the diet, such as dietary products, fish like salmon and sardines, bony fish, nuts and seeds, almonds and walnuts, tofu. Good sources of calcium include low-fat milk, yogurt and cheese, soy products, and green leafy vegetables. Foods with added calcium such as orange juice, cereals and bread are also beneficial. Calcium supplements can also help if generally avoid dairy products. It is also best to obtain calcium from food sources rather than supplements. Several hormones are vital in ensuring that calcium is properly absorbed and available for bone mineralization and matrix formation. Parathyroid hormone and calcitonin are the major hormonal regulators of calcium homeostasis. Parathyroid hormone regulates the concentration of calcium in the blood, in part by promoting movement of calcium from the bone. In response to low calcium levels in the blood, increased levels of parathyroid hormone prompt the mobilization of calcium and demineralization of bone and the formation of bone cyst. Calcitonin secreted by the thyroid gland in response to elevated blood calcium levels inhibit bone resorption and increases the deposit of calcium in bone. Calcitriol is a hormone that is also known as active vitamin D. Calcitriol functions to increase the amount of calcium in the blood by promoting absorption of calcium from the gastrointestinal tract. It also facilitates mineralization of osteoid tissue. A deficiency of vitamin D results in bone mineralization deficit, deformity, and fracture. Add more protein into the diet. Protein helps promote bone formation and maintain calcium levels in the blood, which in turn reduces the rate at which bones break down. The recommended dietary allowance for protein intake is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight each day. However, some research suggests that a higher daily intake may help older adults maintain their bone density and lower their fracture risk. A person can get proteins from a variety of plant and animal sources, but studies suggest that animal protein may be better for maintaining bone density. Sources of protein are eggs, Greek yogurt, lean meat, fish, nut butter, beans, nuts and seeds. Boost vitamin D. Calcium and vitamin D are well known for important role they play in building strong bones. The skeleton is body's major storage bank for calcium, and vitamin D helps the bodies effectively absorb calcium from diets in the small intestine. Vitamin D is also needed to help bone forming cells mineralize bone proteins into a hard tissue. If a person do not have enough calcium in diets to supply calcium to all the body cells that need it, calcium is removed from the skeleton. Calcitriol, synthesized from another steroid called cholecalciferol, that is vitamin D3, is made by the kidneys. It is essential for normal phosphate and calcium ion absorption in the digestive tract. Cholecalciferol is produced in the skin or absorbed from the diet. Without enough vitamin D, body can't absorb calcium effectively, which can cause softening bones and potentially causing deformity and can contribute to osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is the most common bone disease, can be worsened by lack of calcium and other minerals. Osteoporosis is a condition that causes loss of bony tissue that makes bone brittle, means bone become weak and easily broken. A person may be able to obtain sufficient vitamin D through sun exposure and food sources. Dietary sources of vitamin D include vitamin D fortified milk and cereals, egg yolks, saltwater fish, fatty fish and oily fish, liver and mushrooms. However, some people may need supplement to reach the recommended daily allowance, 50 micrograms or 600 international units per day for most adults, or 20 mcg or 800 IU for people older than 70. Avoid very low caloric diets. Eating too few calories can be harmful. In addition to reducing muscle mass and potentially contributing to nutritional deficiencies, it may also hurt bone health. Research suggests that calorie restrictions can cause bone loss and reduce bone quality, which may increase the risk of fractures. A very low calorie diet is one that typically consists of 800 calories or fewer per day. To build and to maintain strong bonds, aim for a balanced diet full of nutrient-dense foods. Include foods high in magnesium and zinc. Calcium isn't the only mineral that's important for bone health. Several others also play a role, including magnesium and zinc. Magnesium plays a key role in converting vitamin D into active form that promotes calcium absorption. Lower magnesium levels may be associated with a higher risk of osteoporosis, and supplementation may help improve bone density and reduce fracture risk. Many nuts and seeds, including pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, almonds and cashews, are high in magnesium. And also try including more black beans, fortified foods like cereals, or fish like salmons or halibut in diet. Zinc is a trace mineral needed in small amounts. It helps make up the mineral portion of bones. In addition, zinc promotes the formation of bone building cells and prevents excessive breakdown of bone. Zinc supplementation may help encourage bone formation and improve bone density in certain fracture-prone areas such as the neck of the femur bone. Food sources of zinc include beef, shrimp, spinach, flax seeds, oysters, pumpkin seeds. Other vitamins include vitamin C, must also be present in the diet because it is needed for important enzyme reactions in collagen synthesis and to stimulate osteoblast differentiation. Vitamin A stimulates osteoblast activity, and vitamin C, K and B12 are essential for synthesis of normal bone proteins. Most bone growth stops during adolescence, although the bones of the nose and lower jaw as well as other facial bones may continue to grow in only tiny increments throughout the life. In addition to eating a nutrition diet, maintaining a body weight that is healthy for a person can help support bone health. Having a lower body weight may increase the risk of osteoporosis, particularly in people who have low estrogen levels related to menopause. Research also suggests that obesity may increase the risk of osteoporosis and fractures through factors like lower vitamin D levels and increased stress on the bones. Ultimately, maintaining a moderate weight is best for overall health. It can be hard to know what is a healthy weight for each person.